Northampton Mayor Gina-Louise Sciarra and Public School Superintendent Dr. Portia Bonner hosted a school funding presentation earlier this evening, and that presentation was led by Tracy Novick, School Finance Field Director at the Massachusetts Association of School Committees. During tonight's presentation, Novick addressed challenges posed by the budget deficit. She also discussed various factors influencing Chapter 70 state funding.
We're seeing transportation costs going up by double digits. We're seeing special education costs going up by double digits, trying to make sure that contracts are done in a way that's fair. And the inflation rate that the foundation budget is based on is 1.35%, which is just not near anything that any school committee is actually seeing for their school budgets.
Novick says the goal of tonight's presentation was to inform residents on how the state's budget actually works. Still ahead here on Western Mass News, the Gary Rome Auto Group Surprise Squad is back. They rewarded a local teacher for her hard work and dedication.